Aloha, my name is Katie, and I'm here to talk to you about leaky gut. So when you hear the words leaky gut, what comes to mind? Probably some really crazy image about your gut leaking from itself. So it isn't a good thing, but we're going to clear up that image so that we can really understand what leaky gut syndrome is. So leaky gut, and when I'm talking about the gut, I'm talking about the small intestine. So when I'm talking about the small intestine, it's actually not small at all. The small intestine is coiled up, but it's about 15 to 20 feet in length when it's lengthened back out. It's also about the same surface area as a tennis court when it's laid flat, which is pretty big. But the actual lining of the small intestine is only about as thick as your eyelid. So it's not that thick in general. So a healthy functioning small intestine, what does it do? What's its purpose? It's actually the first line of defense for your immune system. So when we eat food, sometimes we ingest bacteria, viruses, things that we shouldn't be eating, chemicals, anything that might come into our body that isn't really meant to be in our body. So let's put it this way. Your small intestine provides a barrier from the outside world into you. So you can also think of it as like a bouncer at a club. And your club is called your body. The club is a special VIP place that only certain things can come in and other things cannot. So when you have food that's passing through, all that bad stuff is kept out by your intestinal lining. That bad stuff passes through and is later created as waste. The good stuff is able to be absorbed, nutrients, fatty acids, whatever it is that you ate that your body needs. So what happens when your gut is leaky? Let's take my hand as an example of what the gut lining is. So this is your gut lining, your intestinal lining. This is going to be some food passing through your intestines. Your gut lining absorbs what it needs from the foods, and the rest that it doesn't need passes on. So when the gut lining is damaged, the gut lining starts to separate a little bit, maybe a lot. So when that's really separated, the food that passes through, you can't really get all that stuff that's bad to stay out. So let's say some bacteria is then able to pass through because the gut lining has become permeable, more permeable than it's supposed to be. So that bacteria, maybe undigested food, metabolic wastes, they all can make it into your bloodstream. Now this is a bad thing because once your body sees something in its bloodstream that's not supposed to be there, sirens go off, your immune system responds. So when your immune system responds, that's as if your body is becoming sick. It's fighting off bacteria, that virus, whatever's not supposed to be in your bloodstream in the first place. So what happens when your immune system's going off? You're like, that's a normal function. What's the problem? If your gut lining is constantly allowing things that aren't supposed to come into your bloodstream to come in, then your immune system will be on overdrive. When your immune system's on overdrive, you become fatigued, you develop autoimmune disorders, seasonal allergies become all year allergies, more food sensitivities occur, sickness develops because your immune system is so busy fighting off all that extra stuff coming in. Irritable bowel syndrome comes up, constipation, diarrhea, any kind of digestive upset, bloating, you get the idea. So what do we do about this? Well, first of all, what damages the gut lining? Anything that you're sensitive to. Wheat can damage the gut lining, dairy can damage the gut lining, Taking antibiotics for a long period of time can damage the gut lining. So can taking ibuprofen. All of these things cause damage to your intestinal lining. And when this damage happens, things can easily pass through. Luckily, the intestinal lining can heal itself. So how do we heal the intestinal lining? One, avoid what's causing the issues in the first place. So if you're going to eat foods that are not processed, that'll help heal the gut lining, although eating processed foods will also damage the gut lining. So you want to stay away from processed foods. High amounts of stress can also damage your gut lining. So managing your lifestyle to be a little bit more stress-free sounds easier than it is, I know. But, taking a rest day from that crazy hard workout schedule you have going on. Get a massage. Go to the beach if you're so lucky to be near it. Manage your stress. Manage the foods that you put into your body. So therefore, you're not taking in those things that you're sensitive to. If you don't have to take antibiotics, do not. So yeah, these things can help heal. As well as cooking with things like more essential fatty acids. For instance, ghee, I like to use a lot because one, it's dairy-free, even though it's the oil from butter. It's dairy-free and it contains what's called butyric acid. And butyric acid can actually help heal the gut lining and it can help repair those cells. So don't be scared if you think you have leaky gut. If you think, I'm overly fatigued, I have IBD, I have IBS, I have things going on in my gut, I have an autoimmune disorder. If any of these things are going on, you can manage what's happening inside your body. So, I hope I gave you a great overview on what leaky gut is, and it doesn't sound quite as scary, and maybe you know how to manage it a little bit more. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope to see you again. Bye.